This is an introductory video for the Physics 221 lab, and it's the lab for Chapter 17. And this lab has been redone, but it might be old by now, who knows. Anyway, first thing we're going to do is we're going to go to the website where the lab is located, and we see that the Lab 17 lab has a quiz associated with it. So we'd come up and take the quiz, and this quiz has to do with do I have the CDs, do I have the software, have I downloaded it, can I tell the difference between volume 1 and volume 2. When all these questions are true, then you should submit that and commence doing the first lab. And next we come across the procedure for doing the lab. And so it says thank you very much, computer. It says to do the quiz, which we already gone over. Open and print and save table 17. Okay, so with a little bit of luck, table 17 is sitting right there. And I can open it. And so I'm downloading. This is an Excel file. If you can't read an Excel file, that is a problem. I would get to a machine where you can, because we're going to be using them often. Why I have to say yes 3 times to that, I'm not so sure, but now I'm coming up on the file. I wanted to have it to enable the editing of the file. And what happened to my file? I'll do that again. Let's see, we'll save it as something. That's an okay place to save it. And we'll open the file. Well, it looks like we have the right file this time, and the computer system did not hose us over. Okay, so some of the columns are filled in already, some of them are not. So we'll go back to the procedure and see what we are supposed to do. And so I have the file. I can use the file. It says run volume 1. Okay. It'd probably be a good idea to print out the procedure, but you don't have to. We're going to remember that when we get there, what we're supposed to do. So we're supposed to place the temperature at 50 degrees, and we're supposed to go to 1 mole. We're supposed to go increase the volume in 0.5 increments from 2 to 20, and then we're supposed to record that in column B of table 17. Okay, so that's the overall plan for the first 8 things. Okay, so first thing we need is volume 1. So there's volume 1, and we open it. This is where we're patient. Oh, there it is. It said to click on heat, so there's heat. And it says to click on ideal gas, so there's ideal gas. And it looks like I didn't turn off my volume, but that's okay. It says set temperature to 50 degrees centigrade, so we'll do that. And set the moles of gas to 1, it's already there. And then we're going to change from 2 to 20 in 0.5 increments. And then we're going to record the pressure. So doing that, we see that at 2, we have 1343 pascals, and at 2.5 we'd have 1033 pascals, and we'd do that all the way up until we got to 20. And at 20 we have 134 pascals. So there's 40 data points that you'd write. Now if you printed out table 17, you'd be putting them in as you go along. We're going to go quit out of here, go back to our table, and so we remember the first pressure, 1343 pascals, and remember the last pressure, which is the 134 pascals. All right, well that's fine. Now we're ready to do, and we fill in the rest of these data points. I need the other 38 data points before I continue. But and for the purpose of the video, I'm not going to do that. Then I'm going to go back to my procedure. And so we've already done up to 8. Now we're going to set the volume at 10, the moles at 1, and we're going to increase the temperature in 5 degrees increments from 0 to 150 C. Record in column D of table 17. Okay, so we're going to remember that. And we're going to come back into volume 1. Again, if I were to have this printed out next to me, I would, and with the procedure next to me, I wouldn't have to go back and forth. But I have to go back and forth. Okay, so volume, we want to be at 10.0. Okay, and we want to be at 1 mole of gas, and we have that. Now we're going to send the temperature. So when the temperature is at 0, I have 227. Temperature is at 0, I have 227. And when the temperature is 150, I have 352. Very interesting. All right, so I get the rest of the data points because there's more data points I need. So I remember those data points: 227, 352, and all the data points in between I have written down too someplace. And I go back to my data sheet and I put in my pressure, 227. That doesn't look like a 352. And then we also have the rest of these data points have to be filled in as well. I do it one more time, moving moles up and down and record in F. All right, then I'm going to go and I'm going to calculate R. All right, so I have PV is equal to nRT. So R is going to be PV divided by R by NT. PV divided by NT. All right, so that's what we're going to do. So we do those calculations at each of those data points. And we probably aren't going to do that in our calculator. We're probably just going to do it on our spreadsheet. But we could do it on our calculator if we wanted to. So in column G, we're putting in, by our procedure in column G, we're putting in R that is calculated from A and B. All right, so we look at that in Excel notation. That would be R is equal to B2 times A2 divided by 1, which we don't necessarily have to put in, times 3. 373 plus 50, because we have to be in Kelvin in our calculation. Okay, so we would put that in our spreadsheet. Oh, wonderful. And we would go and have the spreadsheet do all those calculations for us. We do the similar thing in calculating the R using columns C and D, the R using column E and F. And then the procedure says to put in a nominal value of R, the 4 significant digits, and then we're going to calculate errors. And that's what we would do. Okay, so when we're done with our procedure, we have the spreadsheet filled in with numbers with out to 4 decimal places. That's what we would end up doing. And after we do that, then we would go back to see what we do next. So we've calculated the values of R. We've calculated the nominal error, the error associated with the nominal value, and those values of R that we calculated. And then we're done with that part of the procedure. We would then move back and see what we're supposed to do next. So there's a discussion dealing with why are the R's different. So we click on that and do the discussion. Why are the R's different? Then we have more procedure to do, and what we would do the more procedure. We won't tell you what that is. You can figure that out later. And then after the more procedure to do, then you get to comment more on why you think they might be different. And then there's a drop box to put your completed chapter table 17 and for your lab, and that would finish your lab. You see I have a hidden thing here where I have the key for my instructors. As a student you're not going to see that, so it's not a real issue. Okay, that ends the discussion on how to do lab 17.